All temple. The universal temple for the sun, planet, moon, and stars. Peace. Yeah,
Peace.
bro. Yeah. I got some science, man. I wanted to build you on some things, man. I'm about to about to get right into it. If if you don't mind, I'm gonna share the screen and I'm gonna show you show you what I'm dealing with.
Yeah, it's your universe. I'm just observing.
No, I mean I ain't about to lecture you or nothing like that. I'm just saying I'm gonna just get into the meat of my matter because I know you gotta you got things to do and whatnot. And I don't want to hold you for too long. But while I got you here, you know what I mean. Let me share these things with you. Okay, so yeah, so you know introduction into the laws of secession, and so we're gonna go here, right? Introduction, time to advance, classic. Full quiet pauses the air. Some, all right. Okay. Here we go. Compulsion. Dispositions and legacies. Types of wills. How to create a legally binding will. Okay. Testamentary succession. Okay. Here we go. This what I was looking for here. All right. Let's. We're gonna start with compulsory succession, page 23. And basically, the law of secession is dealing with basically, like I say, as men. See, because what's going on? You got like county, state, and federal. You know, the the federal is acting like like our father, the state is acting like our mother, and the county is treating all of us as children under wardship. You know what I'm saying? Wardship status. You know what I mean? So the thing is, coming out of that wardship status. Now you see these blue things here. They got like articles or like statutes that back these things up, but we're not necessarily going to be used saying pursuant to statute da 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 da. Like my documentation, I don't put that, but I use the language. So I use the language of the statute without saying pursuant to. You know what I mean? So when you speak in that language, it's putting you in the same. It's kind of like you're ceding to the language without a contractual agreement. All right, so compulsory succession. I'm gonna read this off the thing here and let it read out, and then I'll go back into it to break some of the stuff. I'll go into some of it. And actually, I could say, before even going into that, I could say, okay, so for example, dealing with the law of secession. Secession is basically when you secede. I say, for example, a prince succeeding to the throne, right? When a prince becomes the king, before the prince becomes a king, he succeeds to or accedes to the throne. So the same thing as a man, you know what I'm saying? As a man, we are the king, so therefore we pass on our legacy to our usually our firstborn son, you know what I mean? And also even in legal practice, the man always passes on his first name or parts of his last name to the son, you know what I'm saying, or to the children. The last name goes to the father. So dealing with the state is dealing with laws of inheritance or inheritance because the inheritance is in her. So through the mother. So this is why if you go through any kind of custody thing with your baby moms or whatever, you want to make sure that everything is you got everything in place because if not, they're gonna give the custody to the mother because they see, well, she's the mother, she should have custody of the child and da 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 da, and just deny all the father's rights. You know what I'm saying? As if the man has no rights. I thought man was head of household. What happened to all of that? You know what
I
I mean?
understand. I understand that, God. I have custody of mine. I got
Yeah,
eight children.
that's peace, God. Word of bond. That's mad peace. You know what I'm saying? Word of bond. You know what I mean? That's definitely peace. You know what I mean? Because you know, A lot of times it be situations where, it's not that the man don't want to be the father, but the state steps in and manipulates that whole situation. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to say, so me, and I'm a victim of that situation as well. You know what I'm saying? As far as going through this shit with my son's mother and all of that. You know what I'm saying? So this is why I emphasize this. But even if you haven't gone through that, still as a man, we need to bring ourselves back into the law of succession, and it's biblical and Quranic as well. You know what I'm saying? Because through the scripture, you see the same thing. Like for example, I break down in the Bible how you see in the Bible and the Quran how the succession of godhood is passed down through the men. Like for example, they'll say, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, the God of Abraham. You know what I'm saying? They'll show the succession of godhood through the men, through the fathers. You know what I'm saying? So that shows and proves that that's the laws of succession. You know what I'm saying? Even like
Indeed.
ancient kings, they call it divine right. You know what I'm saying? They say they were ruled by divine right, meaning that this was their divine right to take rulership of the throne. And so now when it pertains to your will, and when you structure your will, you want to structure your will, like say in the preamble of your will, you wanna structure it in a sense of saying, like for example, you say like all authority is coming from my divine creator Allah. You know what I mean? And you can even state the Holy Quran as your jurisdiction. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever your basis of law is. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it may be. You know what I'm saying? You could say the 42 laws of Ma'at is your jurisdiction. You could say, whatever your doctrinal theology is. You know what I'm saying? You can declare it as your jurisdiction in your will, because your will is your will. You know what I mean? So I looked up the definition of the word state. When you look up the word state says a condition or mode of mind or temperance, and then it goes in, and then the transitive verb says to set by authority or regulation, um, to express the particulars of, especially in words. So when you draw up your will, or you draw up you draw up your trust, you're basically expressing the particulars of in words. So you have now just created your state, literally, in writing. So like people be thinking like the state is like, oh, the land, and like say you in New York, oh, this is the land that this the state of New York. No, the state of New York is like a 12-page document sitting in the damn Department of State somewhere. It's written. It's written in words. The people of the state of New York, where they came together and put in writing to say, yo, we have jurisdiction over this land and da 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 da, and over this area, blah blah blah, and they just simply put it in writing. And being that nobody contested it and nobody, objected it, it became acquiescence. You know what I'm saying? It's like the same thing as if the people agreed to it. We didn't necessarily agree to it, but guess what? Nobody never contested it either. So in a court of law, if you make a claim on something and nobody says anything about it, after a while that becomes yours. You have a right to that claim at that claim. So basically, the same thing with the birth certificate and all of that, going into that whole science. That's considered abandoned property. We've abandoned our property. There's a way to put a claim on that birth certificate, and I've recently been studying, and I know the process and all of that too. So brothers don't want to go into that and all of that. But I told myself, let me stop chasing that fool's gold, man, because I spent a lot of time trying to chase that, man, that I could have been putting time and dedication into my family. Not saying that people wouldn't have still showed their true colors when the time showed itself anyway, because people just are who they are anyway. And regardless of how much of a righteous man you are, some people just ain't that way. So, you know what I'm saying? When certain things don't work out, people will be like, yeah, but God, you the God. And how come you? Yo, man, you could be the God all day. If people ain't following that way or on that wave or that frequency, then, you know what I'm saying? What you going to do? You can't force people to live mathematics. You know what I'm saying? So it's on them. It's their choice of law. You know what I'm saying? So it's but now this is why I say though, now I'm bringing myself back into the laws of succession so I can have international protections, bring myself to international status so I can have rights as a father and not just be dealing in the state realm as to where, like I say, any moment a man dealing with his woman, he getting, you wake up one day, the baby mom's getting on your nerves, and y'all get into some shit, and da da da. Police get called, and you know what I mean. It's a situation like you don't want to be in that situation. You want to have it where, regardless of whatever happens, this is your private home, your private situation, your private, whatever, and you have control of what goes on in your home. So as to where now our women can't be so manipulative and be like, well, I can do that, and I can do that, and I can call the police, and I can, all that ratchetness that a lot of times we have to deal with because the state gives them the false security that it's all about you. And really, and that's all divide and conquer. You know what I'm saying? They turn our women against us, you know what I'm saying? So that they will use the system against us and be like, oh, well, I don't need you. I'll just use the system. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
we
Like,
gotta have to one thing about that as far as for one thing, when you're dealing with the home, this is the first place. And this is between a man and a woman, and I mean, really, God, we the makers and owners. So really, a lot of people get into a lot of things like that, whether they they don't be operating right, real literally. Like I don't have those type of issues. You know what I'm
you
saying?
got,
I got 8 children. I got a 21-year old, a 20-year old, 16, 15, two 11-year olds, a 3-year old, and a 4-year old. But I didn't have those type of issues whatsoever, just because of my civilization. You know what I mean? And as far as regarding the will, my father just passed away. It's maybe been like about 4 or 5 months ago, and
mm,
he left a will. You know what I'm saying? Which my old earth had no issue with dealing with that science whatsoever. So a lot of that type of conflict, no one can really turn anyone against you unless you know what I mean, start turning things. So I happen to have that experience personally. And then, like I said, I got two grown ones now. You know what I mean? One in the military, one is a school teacher. I didn't have those type of issues.
mm. Peace. That's what's up, man. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm not like being in your family biz or whatever, but if as far as with the will you just mentioned, um, if that's if anything is in your name or if it's set up for you to be like an executor to rise as an executor of the will, then you may want to look into the provisions of it and see where it is that you may come into play so that then maybe you can secure it. Because now, going into another one of the, like I said, I'm gonna send you the links. I was in the middle of my thing, so I didn't get a chance to, but I'm gonna send you the links to the video I did on the certificate of international will. So what it'll do is it'll bring the will into an international form, as to where now it'll rise above the domestic boundaries, the state statutes. That way, the state can't get involved at all. They can't probate the will. You know what I mean? Excuse me. So in other words, like if you have like $30,000 or more in a will or a trust, the state will probate it. You know what I'm saying? Or $30,000 worth of assets or more in the will, the state will probate the will. And when they probate a will, they basically take like almost like six like this dude told me that works on wills. He told me like 25 to 65% of the assets, and then give the
Yeah, I didn't
rest.
have that. I didn't have that experience. Like I told you, my father passed not long ago, and he had a will, and everything went through smooth. You know what I'm saying? He worked all his life, and everything went through smooth. He worked all his life. Bought the house that we live in now. You know what I mean? Him and my mother, and I didn't have no bumps and no issues with that whatsoever.
Yeah, that's peace. That's peace. That's peace. You know what I mean? So my thing is I've been working on is bringing the will, applying what's called a certificate of international will, applying the certificate to the will, which will bring it into into an international form, which will now give you international protections. You know what I mean?
I mean, protection against what? Because, like I said, I didn't have no issues, so I don't like protection against what? Because there was no issues beyond
I,
at whatsoever with.
um, pardon me, that.
No, I was just saying that there was no issues with it at all.
That's peace, God. That's peace. A
Like
lot.
I actually, I've been through this with a living experience.
I feel you. I feel you. Yeah, like I say, I'm not, not trying to be in your, personal business. I don't know how much was in, the will, how much assets or whatever was in, saying the will or whatever, you know what I mean? But like, I know that at a certain point, if there's a certain amount of assets or whatever, saying the state will probate it if it's not on a if it's not an international will, you know what I mean? Um, then it'll do that. So basically, this is just basically what the certificate of international will is. It's like a layer of protection that kind of brings it into a that brings it you into a international form of a law more so than the state statute, and ordinance and things of that nature. So in other words, what I'm trying to say is like if you're under the state could at some point have statutes where they could say, well, we have to regulate this a certain kind of way. You know what I mean? So now, if you have it on an international level, that could never happen. You know what I mean? So say, like, if something happens to, a loved one, somebody happens to pass away that was in a certain position, say for the will, like the executor or whatever, or for the will, and then saying you'll have it set up to the point where okay, now this person takes charge of that, you know what I'm saying, or takes that position to rise as the executor, which is the or the trustee, what I'm saying, to maintain the will or function the will and everything, so that now let's say I say for example, right, your grandfather had a will. Your grandfather passed on the will to your father. Your father passed it on to you. But let's just say you didn't understand the science of how wills work or how they carry out, and then like you passed on without securing that your son was the next executor. Now, if your son is not the next executor, the state is going to become the next executor, and then they're going to
Yeah,
probate the estate, and then
pardon me.
and
Yeah,
then and
I'm
then,
telling
and
you that.
then the two or
Pardon
three
me.
generations of wealth that you had gained up, the state comes and takes all of that. You know what I'm saying? Because the next executor wasn't in place. So
I beg your
primary,
pardon, God. When like I said, my father, y'all, he passed not long ago. It's like I'm talking about 4 months, personal experience, and I didn't have any of those issues whatsoever. And not only that, he left the will to my mother, and everything went through smoothly. I didn't have any type of issues whatsoever from no state or anything like that. It
so
just
so
went
now,
through just like if you make a will. I
right,
had a actual experience with that. You
right,
know, real life experience with it.
peace,
So
God.
I didn't have any kind of bumps with it whatsoever.
Right.
You know.
So now the next step is to make an amendment to the will as to where either you or whoever is chosen in your family is appointed to now be the next executor after your old earth. You know what I'm saying? So now, you know what I'm saying? Because it's all about appointment. You know what I'm saying? One of the vital points of a will or a trust is the appointment and the successor appointment, like the person who comes in succession afterwards. Like say like I got to set up in my will like as to where like if something happens to my sons as to where they're not able to receive the um benefits as beneficiaries, then like say something happens to them, one of them have to pass on or whatever, then what was supposed to be given to them will go on to my nieces and nephews. They'll be the next of kin. They'll be the next in line to receive, saying whatever they weren't able to receive. So
Yeah,
basically,
that happens naturally. I mean, once you set your will up, have you ever had that? I mean, did you ever had that experience with the will? Like anybody passed in your family where you had
well,
to do that,
well,
son?
well, in my particular situation, like as far as like when my old earth passed away, she was married to my father. So when a woman is married to a man, both of the estates become merged, and the man being head of household, he basically becomes the head of the estate. That he has control of the estate. So when she passed away, all of her estate was in his control. He became the executor of the will. So You know what I mean? So he was in control of that. Now, if he happens to pass on, being at like now he may being at my
You
latest
haven't had that experience.
being at my the brother under me, my youngest brother is his son. You know what I'm saying? Because my mother married my youngest brother's father. So he probably has a setup where he passes on to him. But being that I'm like actually a year older than him, I'm actually gonna not saying I'm trying to cut him in line, but I'm saying I'm gonna put in my claim as well. So I would actually be next of kin. So I don't get like just skipped over and it goes straight to him. I would
But
have
you know,
my
a
claim.
will goes to who you leave it to.
Right, right. That's what I'm saying. But however, you can have what's called a contesting of a will. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like I would be in line to contest it and then state my reasons as to why I feel like, you know what I'm saying, I should have also, shares of the as a
Did you do
beneficiary,
that?
rights or rights as an heir or beneficiary.
Did you do that?
And that's I have drawn up a affidavit of heirship. Yes, I have. Now what I have to do is get my
So what's
brother my
happening with the
brother's
proceedings with that? Because like I
what I
said, I haven't had that experience whatsoever. My father worked, I think,
yeah, God,
50.
everybody got different experiences. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got
Because he had
different,
worked,
life
he worked
situations.
56 years, and as I said, he left his will to my old earth, and nothing. There was no kind of bumps in that whatsoever.
Right. Because he had an executor in line. He had someone in line to carry it on. You know what I'm saying? Now say he didn't have that in place,
No,
that
I'm saying he did. It actually
no,
happened.
I
I'm
understand
actually,
that, bro. You said that. I understand. I get it. I got you. I'm saying, had he not had that in place, then the state would have came in as the next of kin or the next executor to take the state. So what I'm trying to say now is the next thing to do is to make sure that it keeps getting amended for the further generations. Actually, I would say being that like for people to have this knowledge now on this whole thing, so now they can sit and plot out who will be the next, saying generational successors. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So,
this is
so
talking about the
this
law
is
of succession.
this is all what you call estate planning. You know what I'm saying? It's about estate planning. This is how you plan your estate, basically, and you become a plansman, the one who dwells upon the plans. So basically, I'm establishing things up. I'm setting things up for generations to come. You know what I mean? So and as far as what you explained, I would say to add on to your present situation right now, like I say, is to what I'm saying, for everybody, for your family to come together and to amend the will to say who's going to be the next successors in line, and also to add that certificate of international will to bring international protections to the will. So even if there's not a will in place, then it's still will remain back from the international certificate. So that way it won't be like they could just come in and be like, well, we still just gonna no, hold on, wait a minute. It's still got international protections. Somebody that's of the bloodline will come in and take airship. You know what I'm saying? So they can't just bum rush your shit. So this how you
Yeah, I'm definitely getting the air of what you're saying, but what I'm saying is that everything happened and it already transpired to be right and exact. You know what I mean? So I don't really see I
for
don't really see the application of it in my situation particularly.
Well, what I'm trying to say is that like that just happened was for like a generation. Now you would be as the children of your mother and father, you will be the next generation, and then your kids will be the next generation, and their kids will be the next generation, and then
No,
their kids
I
will be the
get
next
I get
generation.
that. I
So now,
definitely get that that part.
so now, being that's been passed on to your mom, like you don't just stop now. You got more planning to do. So that's what I'm saying. Now it's now to whoever's going to do the planning and put it in writing. So that way it's secured and it's in writing, and not just who's going to be the next executor. Whatever specific assets you have, however you want them to be distributed, you draw that up in the will. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that's what I'm telling you. What that was already drawn in the will from the foundation, so it's already there. You know what I mean? And actually, all of that just came through probably 2 days ago. So without I mean, it ain't had no protection because I ain't had no molestation from no kind of state or nothing like that. I didn't have none of that happening whatsoever. He drew up a regular will, and it went to my old earth. You know what I'm saying? On the house that they worked for over many years, and everything came out right and exact. So without any international quote unquote protection, anything like that, I ain't had none of them experiences whatsoever. Like everything fell through as the way it should. Just when you drop a will,
Right, 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 right.
that's. I mean, I'm just telling you, like actually happened already.
Okay, okay. That's spiritual. That's
So
spiritual.
that science may apply to a particular. That science may apply to
It
certain situations.
it applies to everyone, G, in every situation. It's all about you setting it up for the future generations. Like what I'm trying to say is like what just happened now was a transfer, like I say, from one generation onto the next generation. Now, like people not gonna be here forever. So I'm saying now in the future it's gonna be other people. You know what I'm saying? And then other people, and then other people, and then other people, and then other people. So all I'm just saying is setting it up for the future generations now. You know what I'm saying? It's been passed down now from one to into the saying now it's gonna be going down further and further. You want to keep the will alive. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
That's all I'm saying.
right. A person makes a certain amount of currency in a lifetime. So once my old guy he did that, and it transferred to my old earth. You know what I'm saying? And she
Yeah,
ain't going nowhere no
they were
time.
married. Were they married?
Of course.
Yeah, right,
That
right. Exact. So by the law, she would be the next of kin. You know what I'm saying?
this is yeah, absolutely. And like yeah, that exactly. That's
But,
exactly what happened.
but
So I
now,
don't really get what you're talking about international
so
protection because a person's will is not an international thing.
brother, okay, let me show you something. That's why I'm glad I got the witch card. I'm gonna show you some
Yeah,
things.
because I'm not dealing with practical and actually what's really happening. So I don't understand
What I'm trying to say, brother? Everything you're saying is right and exact. What I'm trying to say is like what's took place is what took place on a state level. I'm just trying to show you international information. That's all I'm trying to say, bro. You're trying to
hmm,
expand your horizon. That's all.
I'm listening.
So um, good shit. I'm sure this is- let me pull this up here.
We got 4 minutes to the wisdom.
Uh, what the heck?
What you doing that off of? Oh shit. What you doing that off of? What kind of program is that? Because that's a very good program,
Um,
especially the way that it looks, like how it is, how you got it set up, is really really good.
Google. This is Google Meet.
What you can share the screens and stuff like that. That looks
Yeah,
really good.
yeah. I'm trying to pull up the damn thing here, man. What the heck? Now let me pull up the.
I like that whole setup.
Okay, here we go. You can see that there.
Um, it's there. However, God, I don't have my glasses on, so I cannot read it.
It's kind of small.
Um,
Oh,
no, I can zoom in on this. Oh, shit, I can zoom in on it though. Right, I see the definition.
all right. Um,
Phenomenon of a physical word collectively, including I can see it. If I zoom in, yeah.
so you got um international will, international will and testament. We're just gonna deal with international will, just. Peep
Where
this.
does that where does that come from? The international will.
This, which is, it's been in existence for a while, like a long time.
I'm
This is,
asking like what site does that come off of?
oh, well, I just googled that right there. You know what I'm saying? And there's going to be many references to break down about an international will. Um, ooh, secession.
Because it means like a will that's, you know, international is like, what I mean, that's something.
Outside of the United States, outside of the box, bro. We got to think outside the box, man. America's a box, man. They got us trapped in this cage. You
I
know what I'm
mean,
saying? Like,
America, well,
well,
U.S.
the
may
U.S.
be, but
Right.
America is definitely not a box.
Well, the U.S. Right, the U.S. You know what I'm saying? You know, the
Yeah,
so-called
cause
Union states.
yeah, cause I haven't as I said, like actually applied. You know what I mean? We in wisdom knowledge coming into wisdom, and it's actually applied and actually manifested. So like I understand the ideal and the concept. However, um, practically applied. I already told you like actually already happened. You know what I'm saying? My dad returned to the essence for real, and I had no type of issues. I hadn't had to do no type of. I hadn't seek no protections or nothing like that. I ain't witness or experience no molestation.
I
None of
feel
these type of
you,
things
I feel you.
whatsoever. You see what I'm saying? So I'm just looking at seeing like where is you getting at, and how is it actually applied? You know what I'm saying? Because if it don't apply, let it fly. You know that already. You know me a little bit from there.
Check it out.
I gotta zoom in it a little bit.
Requirements for a will under the Uniform International Wills Act. By Hancock Law Firm, PLLC, November 20th, 2017. The Convention on the Form of an International Will, the Convention, was drafted and presented to the international community in 1973. The Convention was signed and ratified by a number of countries, including Canada and Belgium, and signed but not immediately ratified by other countries, including the United States, China, Russia, the United Kingdom, and France. The Convention was not ratified by the U.S. Senate until 1991. The Convention has been presented to the states for acceptance as the Uniform International Wills Act, the UIWA, and has been adopted by approximately one-fourth of the states, including California and Illinois. States and countries adopting the Convention agree to recognize the validity of wills executed in other states or countries that have adopted the Convention, provided the will complies with the requirements of the Convention. Execution of wills in accordance with the UIWA. International wills are not that much more complicated. To ensure
Part of stuff. You see what they just said? They said about how states and countries adopting the convention agreed to recognize the validity of the wills executed in other states or countries that have
Yeah,
adopted
well,
the
I'm
convention.
following it.
You know what I'm saying? That right there is full faith and credit. The same thing as full faith and credit. You know how when we deposit these documents,
You said the same. Hold on, I missed what you just said. The last thing
where it says about
before you said something about credit. What would you say before that? Because I couldn't it was still going on. What'd you say?
I said the
Yo,
part where
inbox me one of those. Send one of those to me. I need that.
you talking to me or somebody else?
I'm talking to you. I says inbox me one of them things that you.
Oh,
I'm fucking with you, guys.
uh, what you call it? Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, this part here where they talk about the states and countries adopting the convention agreed to recognize the validity of wills executed in other states or countries that have adopted the convention, provided the will complies with the requirements of
All
the
right.
convention. So, in
Could you
other words,
cross reference that with something else legal? I would like to see that too.
did I what?
I was asking you, could you cross reference it with with something else?
Well, I was
Just
doing
to
it. I
drive
was,
home that point right there.
Well, I was just explaining something. I was about to explain something, but I don't know.
Oh, excuse me, God.
It's all right. But
No, I beg your pardon.
so good. Um, like like when you file a document with the Department of State and they put the raised seal on it and it says this has a full faith and credit of the United States. Full faith and credit means that basically that each state is going to acknowledge each other state's seal or signature or whatever. So the same way you go to the notary, you get the notary. The notary is going to
I
acknowledge your
understand
signature.
it, God.
Huh?
I understand it. You're still talking to a lost son, God. I understand it.
All right, so basically, that's basically expressing full faith and credit between the nations, like international full faith and credit. You know what I mean? The full faith and credit with the United States is between the states. This is among the nations. You know what I mean? So that's what makes it international.
Yours is effectively put in place. You must meet the minimum requirements. As an example, your will should only be made for one person and must be put down in writing. The UIWA states that a will that complies with its requirements is valid irrespective of where it is made, the location of the assets, or the nationality, domicile, or residence of the person creating the will, the testator. The UIWA does not, however, apply to joint wills, meaning those made by two or more persons in one document. Invalidity under the UIWA, however, does not affect validity, as a will executed in compliance with state law. A will which is invalid under the UIWA may still be valid under state law.
See, so in other words, if you don't make your international will, if you don't make your will international or bring it under the international uh, recognition or forum, then it's going to be dealt with under the laws of the state, and that's basically probate.
UIWA requirements for a valid international will include: it is in writing, in any language, written by hand, typed or printed by other means. It need not be written by the testator personally. Testators must declare in the presence of two witnesses and a person authorized to act in connection with international wills that the document is their will and they know the contents of the will.
Messiah.
Must sign in the
Yeah.
presence of the.
Yeah,
So you got your will.
yeah.
That's good. So
My next step is to make it international, bring it into the international form through this certificate.
yeah, I definitely see that you'll be successful in that. Um, I just like I said through personal experience, you know, there was no issues with the situation whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? Like practically applied. So those like I said, that idea is very, very good. I don't really understand the international aspect because a lot of times people like to make things international, but on documents it's just document. I mean, internationally, unless you're communicating with different nations, and what does nations have to do with a personal will? I don't know. You know, like that one type kind of like throw
But
me a little.
it has a lot to do. That brings me to another aspect. I don't know if you've seen the video on I was breaking down about the international organization. How how I formed my international organization and basically how
No,
other
I can't say that.
okay,
I'm 100%.
um,
I have looked at it. 100%. No, I have not.
all
You
right,
know,
but
I'm
due
just
to
looking at the application like practical.
all right, but due to me having an international organization and bringing myself into an international forum.
And by what nations are they recognized? Like I want to,
Well, one, I could say basically the United States, being that I'm coming from the United States of America, I'm
that's
domiciled.
where we at. That's what I'm saying. That's not international. That's in
Listen,
where we at.
listen, bro. Did you hear what it just read? How it just said how the
I was
if the
listening to
will,
iRobot.
brother. Listen, if you asking me to explain it, are you gonna question me down and tell me what it is, or you gonna let me explain to you?
Now I wasn't questioning you down. I was actually saying I was listening to the robot. I listened to what it was read off of this one document, which I don't
Okay,
know
it was
where
just
is it from.
explaining, like I was explaining about full faith and credit, how if your document is in to the standard of how the convention designed, if you follow the protocols and it's up to the international standard, then basically what you draw up in the United States of America will be acknowledged in other countries as well because it's following the same protocol. That's why it has the international full faith and credit. That's what I was explaining before.
Okay.
Um, Um, like I was building with my brother the other day, and he's like, "Yo, I got a passport. I'm international," and I'm like, "Not exactly, because just because you have a passport, you're coming from a certain port to another port. Doesn't mean you're free to stay there as long as you want, because once that visa expires, you got to get your ass back to the domestic borders of the United States. So that passport don't make you free, and it doesn't necessarily make you international. It allows you to
What do you
travel
mean? I don't
internationally.
know what you mean
But,
by free. A passport means that you can pass these ports,
right, exactly.
and
Right,
without one, you can't.
right.
You
But
got
that
a passport?
well, actually, no, no, not me myself, but actually, I know not know them personally, but I've seen people
You never
maybe
travel.
where
You never
they,
travel internationally.
they travel with their no, no, but they travel with their nationality card. Now, due to
Who travel with
nationality,
their nationality card?
no, I have not done it, but I'm saying there's people that have done it. But
Who?
that's by them really knowing what they're talking about and really knowing how to implement international law. I say,
Well,
for
who?
example, you have what's
I'm
called
asking you. I'm asking you who actually
the
did that.
sister Simone
She
uh
did not. She
Simone.
used her passport. I know who you talking about. The light skinned sister. She was
Yeah,
traveling.
that's
She just
that's
traveled over there, but she wasn't traveling with her. She traveled through her passport.
that's one person. The other sister that's with the rise of the house of the Taj thing, rise
Yeah,
of
that's definitely not a good look. Yeah, they
reawakened
traveled with their
conscious.
passports. And now Todd Sharik Bay is my personal friend. You know what I mean? My man, I got him on dial. I've been talking to him for the past 15 years, and he don't travel at all internationally. I know that personally.
I
It's
mean,
my man.
by choice, by choice. No, I didn't say Taj himself. I said one the sister that he be building with on the House of Reawakening Minds.
I'm
She was
not sure who that is. Is it Roz Mariah?
no,
Because
no, 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 no. It's the she
I yeah, I know them real good. Like they stayed in my house.
no the sister. She be on the show. Like when they do their show, the sister she co-hosts a lot. She wears glasses, kind of heavy set, dark skinned woman. But and many others. The science is now, but the science. The science is you're dealing with what's called now customary law. You have customary law. See, yo, check it, God. I did a Let me show you this, right? Um, I'm doing a breakdown. I was about to do a breakdown on hold on the different realms of law, and I was going through it, right? And one of them is customary law. You know what I'm saying? When you're dealing with customary law, and
Right.
customary law is basically like I was saying, international protections. Customary law is a form of international protection where your customs will be protected. So, for example, like when people go to through the airport and they say, "Oh, you got to go through customs." You know what I'm saying? We just think like, "Oh, they got to check your luggage and stuff." Like, no, going through customs means when you're traveling internationally and you're going through different ports, when you go through those ports, being that you have internationally protected rights, they have to now respect your customs. They have to take you
Right.
in that private room
But you
and they're
can't
gonna
just
talk to you.
travel you can't just travel into another country with some bullshit though. I know that for
No,
sure.
no, no, no. I'm saying, but the average people that travel, they don't go through customs. Only nationals go through customs. Yeah,
What do you
bro.
mean?
Like in other
Where
words, when you, in other words, listen, what I'm trying to say is, as a regular citizen or whatever, when you travel to another country, they don't take you in your room and ask you about customs, like especially a so-called African American, because we haven't declared nationality, so they ain't asking you about no customs. You don't have no
Oh,
customary laws that they have to respect. Now, people
God.
like Jews and Muslims and people like that, when they travel, these people get taken in a private room. It's called customs. They take them in a private room
Some
and they
people got travel internationally.
God, I'm
I've,
explaining
I've,
something
I've
to
been
you, God. I'm explaining
right,
something to you. How can I explain? I can
right.
only
I'm just saying, like I actually been to Senegal,
I
and
can
I
only
actually been
yeah,
overseas. So like when you haven't traveled, it's kind of like when you speak about it, it's kind of removed when you haven't actually done that.
bro, your personal experiences is not everyone's experiences. And if you haven't been traveling under international law or with international intent, then you're just traveling as just a regular traveler, like everybody else. Like, hey, I'm traveling to Jamaica, I'm traveling to Africa, I'm traveling wherever. You're just traveling. You know what I'm saying? But now, what I'm trying to explain to you is that when you like say you're a Muslim, Muslims certain Muslims come under what's called Sharia. Sharia is Islamic law. You know what I mean? So now, due to Sharia, when they come through the passports, like I say, going through customs, they get pulled in that private room and they sit them down and they ask them, okay, what is your customs? What are your customs? What are your customary laws? What language do you speak? How should we address you? How should we treaty with you? Because it's all about treaty, international law. Treaty law is based on agreements between nations. So when a national from another nation comes through their passport, they have to treaty with them properly to make sure they don't violate any of their international protections. You know what I mean? So therefore, you have what's called customs. So they're going to ask them, "What are your customs? What are your laws? Oh, you're Islamic. This is what you. This is how you whatever. Okay. Oh, you don't want any pork to be served to you on the plane. You want kosher meals. Okay. Yes. Yes. We'll respect that. That or whatever it is your customs are. They are bound to respect that. And if they violate any of these things, they get fines and all kind of stuff for violating international law. So once you bring yourself under international protection, international forum or recognition, you get those type of protections. But as just a regular person traveling through the airport, you just a regular person traveling through the airport. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I haven't had that experience, and I did travel through them.
Yo, check it, right? I was watching Sonetta TV one time, and the sister was just recently, a couple weeks ago. She was saying how she was at the airport and she had on like her African garb, and something had happened, like a disturbance had happened, and everybody was like, I guess moving from one place to another or whatever in the airport or something, and like they came to her like due to the way she was dressed, and they was like asking her, like they was treating her like mad nice. She was like, yo, they treating me better than everybody else. They was like, what I'm saying? You know why? Because they probably thought she was from like Africa or something, because she had an Africa garbs on and all that. So they didn't want to respect her and treat her like a regular nigga, you know what I'm saying? Like a regular Negro. They was respecting her, but she didn't have no kind of international status or nothing. But when she said that, I said, "Yo, that's why, because they was respecting her customary laws. They didn't want to just treat her any kind of way. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I
And
think
that's
you
why
have
she
to
had
do
that.
it to really I think you have to do it to really actually know where that's going to apply if it won't apply because if not it's just going to be rhetoric. Like if you don't like if you're
Nah,
not
I
taking
think
those
I think
trips.
I think people got to step outside their box, or it's just like that's just all they're gonna know. And if you're speaking, it's just like public and private, right? For example, see on a dollar bill when it says this note is legal tender for public and private. If if let's say for example, if we've been doing everything in the private, right, and we never did anything in the public, then we would never. It's kind of like it's like the Matrix movie when you or in your privacy in your home when you're in
It's not a
privacy
movie though.
in your own home. When you step outside your door, you could be either subject to the public, being that you're a so-called citizen or subject to the state property. You could be subject to the public, or you could step outside your door and have protections in that public. Like I say, just like the Jews walk around and certain Muslim people walk around and like, yo, you touch them if you want to. You can get into a fight with a regular fucking person in the street. Niggas get locked up. Whatever, some bullshit. Go out here and touch one of these Jewish people and get into a fight with them and watch how many anti-Semitic laws get thrown on your ass. You're gonna be locked in a jail for a long ass time. They're gonna have all kind of lawsuits against your ass. Why? because they have international protections. They have
I
customary.
did. I actually had all the above. Yeah, I had experience with all the above.
See
But
what I'm saying?
even my, my children. I have children who lived in Jamaica for 4 years that never experienced none of them things that you're speaking about whatsoever. So that's why I'm saying like it's
In
hard for me to.
Jamaica, there's different
Huh?
laws in Jamaica. There's different laws in Jamaica than there are in the U.S.
No, I'm talking. My children was born here, lived in Jamaica for 4.5 years, and came back here. None of those things happened whatsoever.
As far as what?
Um,
Going through customs and stuff like that?
them being accosted and none of that. When you go through customs, unless you got some type of drugs on you or something like that, you know what I mean, some type of suspicion. Like I've never seen none of them happen. Like I
Who
said,
was
I've
held in
traveled
hostage? What are you
to.
talking about? Who was held in hostage?
What I'm saying is that I never seen those things happen. I've
What?
been
What do you
back and
mean? What you
forth.
mean? Seen what happened? You never seen what happened?
Them being picked up, questioned, and things of that nature. I
Why
just
would they
never
have to
seen
be?
that
What
happen.
you mean? Why would they have to be?
This is what you're saying. Like
No, bro.
if you
No.
don't have these type of protections,
I, s-
you
I
know,
said, I said when people travel as nationals from another country through different ports, they go through what's called customs, and they will examine what their customs are, so they can respect their customary laws. I didn't
yeah.
say
Well, customs don't
they,
mean that they're gonna. Well, actually, for one thing, when you go and you said you never travel internationally, I have, and custom when
as a national or as a citizen.
I travel,
There's a big difference. If you
I
travel as a
travel,
national or as a
I've I've
citizen,
traveled. I ain't give no type of other type of documents. I travel with my documents that I had from the United States of America. I
all right,
traveled back and
bro,
forth,
okay.
and not only that, my children that I had. Once my children was like 1 or 2, they moved to Jamaica, and they lived there for 4 years. Came back. They didn't go through no customs. When you go through customs is just a department in the airport. It's not. They're not gonna ask you uh, if you eat pork or something like
But
that. It's not like that.
no,
It's not that.
you could display that if you want to. Like if that's in your like your documentation, or if that's part of your custom, then you could implement that. Not saying they're necessarily going to ask you that, but I'm saying like they will ask you what are your customs. And actually, like I said, most of that stuff is already like paperwork proceeding. You would already kind of have that in the system, or if you need be when you get like when
Yeah,
you go
but I didn't put in no affidavit, nothing. I just traveled regular.
yeah,
It wasn't
that's what I'm
no,
talking
no, no.
about, bro. Yeah, you travel regular, just as a citizen. Anybody could do that. They're not gonna have no stop point. They ain't gonna say, "Hey, what are you
What I'm
doing?"
saying is, it didn't happen to me. Like I said, I traveled to Senegal.
What is it? That's what I say. What is it? What do you say? It didn't happen. What is it? What's supposed to happen to you?
Nothing happened. That is what you're saying. Like none of the
You
stuff
didn't
that
go
you're
through
saying happened.
customs. You didn't go through customs.
They, I
Right,
went.
because you're not traveling in any kind of international status, so it's not like you don't have to go through customs. Like I said, customs is for like nationals, you know what I'm saying? People that are traveling and that
So if
type
you're a national, you're gonna get in trouble.
in trouble. What do you mean trouble? What are you talking about? Bro, man, I don't know what you're talking about, man. Nobody said anything about somebody getting in trouble, man. I didn't say nobody getting in
I just
trouble.
can't see what you're getting at with it because,
I said
like,
protections. I said you would have protections, not
right, but
you get in
there
trouble.
was no need of it. There was no need of it. Like I said,
No
I
need of what?
actually traveled overseas. I've been to Africa.
All
I've
right,
been
good.
to Jamaica.
I mean, good for
And
you.
I've
Not
been to
saying
different
somebody's
places.
supposed to like mess with you because you traveling. Nobody said that. Let me
So what's the
explain to
point?
you what we're talking about.
Like I don't. It's throwing me right now. I don't
All
get
right,
it.
I'm explaining to you what I mean by protections.
Yeah, because you haven't even traveled anywhere. So I'm
I
trying to
don't
get that
necessarily
point.
don't have to. I don't have to have travel to know these things. You know what I'm saying? Just like saying like right now, if you know, like what's
There's no hypothetical. I'm just talking actual.
Yeah, okay, right. But what I'm trying to say is that when I do travel, I'm not gonna travel in just a regular capacity or a state capacity. It's gonna be on a
Oh, you
national.
gotta talk to me after you travel because this is like it's like this is like I I don't see where none of this applies at all, God. And
Well,
that's what I was
well,
telling you from
well.
before. Like,
Initially, like I say, going back to the will, as far as what I was building with you on as far as the will,
that shit is
uh,
good talk, but I don't like
that
that's not practical.
like I said, that is something that applies to any and everybody. Now, whether you choose to do it or not,
But
that's
it
on,
don't
I mean,
apply to
that's
you
on
because you
you.
ain't traveling.
That's on you. You know what I'm saying? Whether you choose to do it or not. You know what I'm saying? That's on you. But like I was saying, it's all about like what I'm building on and what I'm expressing to brothers and sisters is about the laws of secession, is about um creating the legacy. You know what I'm saying? Create putting the legacy in writing, and therefore, you know what I'm saying, being able to keep it going and going and going and going. You know what I'm saying? So it never dies. You know what I'm saying? Um, that's all I'm saying. Um, Understanding like as far as in your specific situation, like I said, I don't know if how much was how much assets were in the will or whatever, or labeled in the will as to whether it would have to go through probate or not. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, because a certain if it's under a certain amount of money, it may not have to go through probate. So I mean, and I'm not sitting here trying to say like or trying to find a reason to say that something wouldn't go right or smooth with your father's will being passed down. Like that's great. That's good that everything went through. That's great. God, peace. You know what I'm saying? All I'm doing is giving you some more information that could further help
Information.
you keep that line of succession going on. You know what I'm saying? Because actually, right now, it seems like an inheritance because it went to your mother. So if you want to bring yourself back into the law of succession, I would maybe suggest you understanding the law of wills and maybe emphasizing to your old earth that you want to be the next in line. And
Wow.
show her and by you studying and getting into this information, you showing her competence that you will be the one responsible to
Wow.
carry
I'm
on.
not even the oldest.
Brother,
Why?
listen to what I'm saying, brother. I'm listening to me, brother. Are you listening? You keep getting on the defensive, man. Like, listen to what I'm
That's
saying to
not
you.
the defensive God, but it just sounds like dog shit.
I don't understand how. No, brother. What it is, you know what it is? Maybe from last night, maybe the text I sent you, maybe you took it some kind of way or whatever, and now you in the
I
defensive
read it, but I
to what I'm
like you
to
my brother,
what
but
I'm
the
go to.
thing is like don't like
Bro,
it's
bro,
good, but
how many times I done came to your community, bro, and I done been under your teaching, your influence, bro, and I done absorbed all the jewels you done taught me, brother. Don't you know you the one that gave me the Circle 7 Quran, brother? So now this information is coming back full circus to give you some benefit. Like it's called residual
but I
knowledge.
don't have but I'm not getting no benefit from that.
Because bro, you're blocking your brain, bro, as I can see, to get in information that could benefit you. Because like I say, man, I don't know what it is, man. I don't know if it's the ego of man, but every time you start speaking to a man about something that he may not be knowledgeable of, he feels some kind of way, and then he gets on this defensive mode as if like, oh,
Nah, this is one thing that we never
and I'm like, yo, I'm your
well, this is
brother,
one
man. I'm
thing that we
sharing
never do.
knowledge with you, brother. That's what I'm doing. I'm your brother sharing knowledge with you. So
Yeah,
as
we
brothers, we
this
humble ourselves and we accept information from our brothers. I don't know what's going.
this
I don't know
this
what
one
happened
this
with
one
brothers.
thing we never do. We never try to push
Listen,
our will on somebody else. Like if that's something that you interested in, we never try to push our will on somebody else. That's
you
one
can't.
thing for
You
real.
can't.
Because God, that's the one thing we never do. It has nothing to do with ego, but this is something like what one person eat don't make you shit. And if that's like you have to practically experience these things, God. This is something that you know. You already know this. You have to practically experience, and you have not practically experienced none of these things, as you said.
What are you talking about my will? I've drawn my will up, and I'm about to take my will to the next level. A will,
That's
a will,
good.
a will is just as vital as having knowledge of self. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how we know these lessons and we know mathematics and we know all these scriptures and we know all of this stuff. A will is just as important. In fact, the will is one of the most important documents you can have as a man or as a person on this planet in general. That's one of them. That's your most important document. Because if not,
When you
when you
die.
pass on, everyone will simply be a forgotten entity. You will not be an established entity where your name is living on. You will be a forgotten entity. So what I'm
Yeah,
trying to say is write your name in the stars and put your name in stone. That's all I'm saying, man. Brothers act like they don't want to create their own stone. If you don't do it, somebody else gonna do it for you. Life is a script. If you don't write your own script, somebody else gonna write it for you.
nah, nobody gonna write nothing for
All
me.
right, brother.
For
All right,
one,
brother. So if nobody, let's just use another example. I don't want you to start getting personal like I'm talking about your personal family. Just in general, in anybody's family. If let's say if somebody was in control of the assets and then something happened to them, and then it's not in writing who the assets go to next, guess who's it gonna go to? The government. That's
is
why
it?
it's very vital to have that in writing and not just be like not like waiting. This ain't no waiting. Like you don't with a will, you don't wait. You don't say, okay, well, we're gonna wait until so and so passes on, and then we're gonna say we're gonna write down who's the next. No, you gotta have that before they pass. That's why it's called a will. You express it
It's a saying. It's
beforehand.
a saying, God. Just like you gotta be in control, man. Of yourself. Like certain things are common sense, and all of these things to me is very, very common sense. I'm freedom out of cipher years old, man.
If it's so
Um,
common sense, then why ain't we doing it?
huh?
If it's so common sense, then why ain't we doing it? People be always saying that these things, like, oh, these things so common sense. Then why ain't we
No,
doing it then?
I'm talking to you personally. It's just not people. It's Allah, Son, God. I'm talking to you personally, and
Uh,
that's why I told you, like many times, I was like, God, that's good. Keep building in peace, because you know, you should never like. It's good to have zeal and stuff like that, God. However, understanding through experience, that's good. You know what I mean? But as you said, that shit is information. Like
no, this
practically
is
applied in life, God. Like
vital information.
everything is real. Like
Vital
everything is
information.
real. Everything is real, man. I don't want to see your motherfucking ass in the cell somewhere talking this dumb shit. For
No,
real, for
if I was in a cell, I'll be speaking what I need to speak to get out of that cell and going to the
real.
law
But
and going to the law and
don't
going
speak
to
yourself into it.
and
That's what
going
I'm
to
saying. Don't
and
speak
going to
yourself
the
into
law.
it.
I'll be going to the law library instead of playing
Don't
fucking cards all
yeah,
day.
don't speak yourself into it, God, because you ain't yeah, don't speak yourself into it, because
I ain't
that's
speaking.
not what it's hitting for.
Hey, G,
We
listen,
got we got
listen,
we
God.
got higher things to
My
elevate off
thoughts
of.
my thoughts. One of the thing about estate planning too, because being that we know everything is mental, one of the things about estate planning too is that you are actually premonitioning your life ahead of time. It's like you're thinking. It's like you're pre-thinking your whole life ahead of time. Like
Yeah,
even myself,
hopefully.
it's just something about myself. Like I always like to think about myself at an old age or doing things at an old age. So I always see myself living to an old age. So I project my thoughts to see myself as being living at an old age. You know what I mean? So you always want to see yourself in the future. When you project your thoughts to see yourself in the future, the body is going to travel with it. You know what I'm saying? A person that's just living day to day and they ain't got no thoughts for the future. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know how they say people perish due to a lack of knowledge. So if you're not constantly adding on and constantly thinking toward the future, then you're gonna be stuck in the
So one
past
thing
and
about
more
so
likely
what you saying
dwelling
is right is that
you're
I'm
gonna
just
be
saying that
you're gonna be
the
stuck.
method, the method is not like until you apply the method, Lord, not that's wisdom. Like once you apply it and actually, had the experience through these things, like it's good to have the idea and stuff like that. But until you apply it and actually, have
It's
it going on in your life experience,
it's a living process.
that's different.
It's not a microwave achievement. See, that's what I be saying to people, man. When it comes to this stuff, I be explaining this ain't no overnight. oh well, let me see you do this. What you this ain't no like
No,
grand,
God, you have to
you
apply it.
need
This is
some
the law of
grand thing.
mathematics, period.
This is this is something that you're doing for your whole life consistently.
Yeah,
Like
but
for example, if you had
yeah,
like
I mean,
a living trust, a living
yeah,
trust,
that's good. However, like
bro,
it has to be active.
you ain't the only person that I spoke to, and you saying this is a lost son. Well, you a lost son is doing the same thing that a lot of people I done spoke to, bro. Which is
I
we
don't
sit
give a
around
fuck
here
about them, God.
and we okay,
I
well,
don't give a fuck about them. You talking to me right now,
so brother, listen. Are
and
you
you
are
chose to
you
record this, so I'm glad you got it on your document because like that's like a lot of the shit is just what you're saying is just not practical. I hear it. I know where it come from. You know what I mean? That's cool. However, you haven't applied it. You haven't had the experience. That's like, you know what I'm
what
saying?
experience? What experience?
Any of them.
Like what? What are you talking about exactly?
The international will, all
I'm
of that.
I'm doing that now. What are you talking about? I just drafted my document the other night. What are you talking
That's
about?
cool. That's
You
what I'm
know,
saying.
and
It hasn't been in effect. Like, that's good. That's the idea, God.
once I deposit my shit, it's in effect
It has
automatically.
to be
I'm
shown
only
and proven.
I'm
And
only
like I'm saying, like, a lot of that shit is not good. Like, I don't, you know, my father taught me better than to eat spoon fed bullshit. I don't do that, God. You know me, man. I mean, to a degree, you know me. But that shit like it's not applicable. It's not
yeah.
applicable.
To know what something is, you got to first do the what. Number one is what? Knowledge, right? You first got to know, and we already know that
You know,
a man cannot speak upon that which he does not know.
and
So
that's why I'm speaking on my experiences.
okay, so if you're speaking on something else in which you do not have the knowledge of, then it's only just um, arrogant or insult to try to say something is whatever, whatever, when you don't even know. So, like I say, that sounds more so personal or emotional than intelligent. And we know that
Constantly
we're supposed
different
to allow intelligence to supersede emotion at
because I
all,
don't agree with
as
you.
much as we can. You know what I'm saying? We are
Because I
human.
don't agree with you.
We
I
are
don't agree
human.
with you.
Huh?
I said because I don't agree with you. It's a
No, I
lot of
didn't
things
say
I don't
no,
agree with
bro.
you.
You cannot agree with somebody without trying to insult what they're presenting out of love to you at the same time. Like you acting like I'm called like I said, you may feel some kind of way about the text that I sent. And the only reason why I sent the text so that may have seemed adamant is because I
Why you talking?
understand maybe not you or other people, but I understand the significance and the seriousness of what I'm dealing with. And then I
Sorry,
also
let me say
understand, oh, let me finish, bro. And then I also understand that our people have a generational curse that's been laid upon, regardless if we got knowledge of self and we got the mathematics of the universe and all of this, and all of that. We still, as a
understand.
people, have a lot of generational curses that are still spellbound upon our mind that we have to break from. So, as like I say, if your brother is imparting knowledge to you, it's only a humbleness of yourself to be like, well, no, let me just hear what he's saying. Not try to find any
Nah,
other
God,
way.
you can't let
Let me,
nobody
let me finish,
sleepwalk you.
1 second. I'll be done 1 second. You know what I'm saying? It seems like you know what I'm saying? Oh, well, let me find this, well, that. Let me nitpick at this and that. Well, I don't understand. You don't understand because you haven't done the knowledge. You haven't done the research. That's why you don't understand. You have to do the knowledge first. You know what I'm saying? And I can show you the same information. I just read something off to you briefly, but you only did that briefly just on the audio. Now, if you were to sit down and research it, study it, go into it, go deep into it, then you really understand it for yourself, not just what I'm telling you. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? Like brothers always say, research it for yourself so you know for yourself. So you're just going off what you may just hear right now at this moment. You know what I'm saying? But now, had you did the knowledge for yourself, then you would be in the know. Then you could say, okay, well, I hear what you said. Whether you could agree, you could disagree, but at least you would know what you're disagreeing with. You know what I'm saying? People just be so quick
So
to be like,
God,
and
God,
you didn't even hear what it was. You don't even know what you're disagreeing with, but you're just so quick to disagree. So
you
that
saying that
disagreeable nature, we
you-
gotta,
okay, God, you think that I'm ignorant to what I disagree with? Come on,
huh?
Messiah. It
No,
ain't
I
like
say
that.
I said people can disagree without having to insult. You know what I'm saying? So like when you insult, when you going into the realm of insult, that sounds personal and to me emotional. So like I'm saying, that doesn't
I
seem
don't
like
give a fuck what it sound like to you, God. Listen, God, you already know. You know how the skin is built here. You already know, God. You've been here. You stay with me, God, for a manner of days. You already know me. And the thing is, God, somebody don't have to always agree with you. That's not supposed to stop what you're doing. That's not supposed to stop your research
don't.
or affect you in no slightest way whatsoever, man.
It don't.
Whatsoever.
It
That's
don't.
not supposed to. God, you think what you say to me going to affect me in the slightest? Come on, man. Really, like God, get realistic. Like, come on, man. Come on, God. My skin real thicker than that, God. Real thicker than that. I'm just telling you. I'm calling a spade a spade. A lot of my brothers are gonna caught up in this stupid shit, God.
And
Come on,
what
man.
stuff? And what stuff?
Huh?
And what stuff?
And a lot of stupid shit. A lot of
Like
sovereignty shit, a lot of international shit and all
I'm
of that stuff
glad
and
you
shit.
said that. I'm glad you said that because I'm not
I'm
dealing with
telling you.
none of that. That's why you might have a misconception of everything I'm telling you. I
Now
don't
I had
deal
no
with none of that.
misconception, God. I just saying
None of
like
them. Listen,
personally me,
that's oxymoron.
God,
There's no
I
such thing.
reject it.
There's
I
no such
reject it,
thing.
God.
You know
I
what I'm saying?
reject it. Like, I'm not beat. You know what I'm saying, God? I'm like, nah. I'm raising real families out here. You know what I mean? I got grown children out here. I got children out here and pointing them in the right direction. I'm not off of no rhetoric, God. I'm just not off of that, man. At all, whatsoever. Like that shit is cool for you. You know what I mean? If you apply it. You ain't apply none of this shit. You just starting. That's cool. I don't have to insult you, God. Like, really, I don't have to insult you, Lord.
So why
Like,
did
nah, that's how you taking it. I ain't have to insult you, God. I can just block you. Like, shit is nothing.
I'll
You
be
know what I'm
like,
saying?
so if I be like, man, you just being ignorant, man. You claim to be intelligent, but you sitting here being ignorant, and you ain't trying to hear what I gotta say. Then what? Then what? I'd be like, oh, come on. Then what? Then I'd be like,
We don't push our points on nobody.
then right. Then I'll be a point pusher.
Now, what I'm saying is we don't push our points on nobody. What worked for us ain't gonna work for everybody. This is supposed to be common sense.
But what I'm trying to tell to you, like I can see if I was saying like, yo, my man, yo, you seen them new Jordans? Yo, them shits is flying, fam. I think I'm gonna cop them shits. Just because I'm gonna cop the new Jordans don't mean you gotta cop the new Jordans.
You
But
know
a
I never been into
will,
sports.
brother, okay, but a will, this is something that everybody must do. That's what I'm trying to say. This is like a universal thing right here. This ain't just like,
Right.
well, do you like Cheerios? Well, I like Raisin Bran. Well, I'm gonna get right now. This ain't a choice. This is something that like everyone must do.
Man.
If not, then you're not gonna
Yeah.
align yourself into the laws of succession. Everything
Yeah.
will be through inheritance, and as a man, you will have no control in your generational
Yeah.
in the generations of your family. That's what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say to the men,
Yeah.
and
It sounds like you don't feel like, yeah,
I'll be
God, keep
addressing
the
the
power,
situation
God.
versus the men.
Like, don't be in power. Like, keep the power. Cause that shit sound like some weak shit.
What are you
For real,
talking
for real.
about, man?
In all
No,
reality.
everything I'm
Like, I
saying,
don't
bro,
know.
is common sense, man.
Yeah, my
It's broken
father taught me
down.
better than that,
I make
God.
I make I make I make sense of everything I say, man. Like I say, man,
I'm not saying it don't make sense,
if brothers
but that
simply
just
think
don't
about me
it
than
just doesn't make
know,
sense to
like
me.
like for example, check this out, right? I sent a text on my thing, right? I sent it in a group, right? And somebody that I was just building with for like 2 hours the other day on the Ave, you know what I'm saying? This brother, he's into all this high science, comedic stuff and all this da. But like I say, man, once you start talking to somebody about something that they don't have knowledge of, like because I don't
Oh,
know, man.
that's what you're gonna default
It
to?
has
Okay.
it has to boil down to ego. It has to. It's not. I mean, there's nothing else I
That's
could
what
get
it is, God.
it to,
Yeah,
man.
you're right.
Yes,
So,
but what I'm trying to
God,
say is, though,
I just
in the
want to see how it worked for you.
in the in the
Inshallah, it worked for you good. Cause
in
that
the,
shit dumb.
in the
That
text,
shit dumb, man.
right? I sent the text, right? It's like maybe like I don't know, 20 people in the thing, right? And him of all people, he's like, yo, I don't have Facebook or something, da, da, da. And he's saying all this other stuff. And not only saying that, but also trying to take a moment to proselytize off of my text to try to promote his
You
own,
chose it. You chose to record
da,
this
da,
shit,
da. But
but it didn't work out like the way it's supposed to be. But that, like God, you don't have to push nothing on anything, man. Truth is recognized universally. Truth is recognized universally. Like I don't understand, like brothers get all caught up in other shit, man. Niggas dragging it out. Like it's very hard, man, to get sleepwalking these days and time, man. Very hard to get sleepwalking these days and time, man. Very hard. That shit don't fucking apply, man. You gotta really like for real. We should have had this private conversation. You wanna like that shit crazy. Shit crazy, man. Real shit going on here. That's crazy, God.
once again, once again,
That shit crazy. Can't see it. Talking all this other shit, like no life experiences on this shit at all. None, no application on this shit at all.
like my life is the experience. My life is the experience because this is what I dedicated my life to. You know what I'm
But
saying?
that's peace. That's
Like,
what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm saying. Like that's peace. But like, don't try and push nothing down on our throat because
nah,
Allah don't swallow shit
that
like that.
ain't that ain't pushing nothing down. So let's to say see like that's something that maybe it may be like whether you want to accept that or not. But I know for a fact that me making a statement that a will is something universal and mandatory for every man, that is a fact. I don't care what anybody say, whether they want to accept it or not. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? And if we don't do that, then we're going to be in a different position than we would be if we did do it. You know what I'm saying? And I already explained the position. The position is what we're in right now. But being that I say, like, if we don't see anything
But
beyond
I'm
this,
not in that position though.
if we just think like, well, what's better than what we got here? Go away. What's go? I'm not going nowhere. You know what I'm
Yeah, I'm
saying?
not in that position
You
though.
know, then
That's the whole science. I'm not in that position. I'm not in that position. Have not been, never will be.
check it out. I was looking at the definition of customary. It said, according to the customs or usual practices associated with particular society, place, or set of circumstances. It is customary to mark an occasion like this with a toast. So, basically customs is dealing with the practices associated with particular societies. So like I was saying, places or set of circumstances. So like I was saying, if you like a Muslim and you come from a certain country, you're gonna have certain you know, practices or things that associate with you coming from wherever you come from. And
Pardon me, Lord Messiah.
yeah,
I just had to talk to you like I know you. I'm gonna listen now.
yeah. Yeah, God, but that's another thing too, man. Like I'm a teacher, G. So when I start building, don't think I'm talking to you like, oh, like I gotta explain. Man, this is just how I do, G. I teach and I explain.
Nah,
I
nigga,
teach,
listen, God,
teach
we
and
stayed
explains
together.
knowledge, man. You know what I'm saying? That's
Listen,
what
God,
teachers do,
listen, God, we stayed together, God. I don't give. Listen, God, I'm gonna listen to you ad infinitum. You know what I'm saying? We study the same science and stuff like that. I just want the best for you, regardless. And
man.
I'm not coming from a position of ego because I ain't shit, nigga. I like to be nothing. You know what I'm saying? That way I could be everything. But I don't. I'm not a person that big up myself or nothing like that. But I'm just telling you certain things that I've seen through experiences. You know what I'm saying? My deeply. I fuck with Taj, all of them motherfuckers. They stayed in my house, man. Slept in my bed a little bit longer than you did. You know what I mean? You stayed for 3 weeks. They stayed for longer. So I understand that. but I know what I have actually applied through my experiences. God, living mathematics. You see what I'm saying? And I'm the same person, but I'm different. You know, I'm older, God. I'm freedom at a cipher. You know what I'm saying? I'm
So
not going trying to. I'm not going trying to. What's the name? Get off on you or nothing like that. But I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna talk to you like I know you. I'm gonna talk to you as my brother. You know what I mean? Straight like that. I'm gonna talk to you as my brother because you are my brother. Whatever you, and I don't give a fuck what you're doing. I'm gonna support you. You know what I'm saying? I'm just that type of person. You know that. But you know what I mean? When I take, I'm gonna call a spade too. I'm not gonna be off no jump on no bandwagon shit. I've
yeah,
been
well,
studying science for years, all my life.
yeah, one thing, like I say, I'm gonna put my disclaimer out there, or clarification. Like I said, I hope you don't think what I'm doing is on some old renegade so-called sovereign citizen shit. I ain't on that shit at all. So I don't know whatever them brothers is doing up there, but
I would
that
say
ain't
that you know
me.
better than that shit by now.
You know what I'm saying? Everything I'm doing,
I just
everything I
don't
can
want you to
take,
go through the bullshit
I could pull up everything I'm
either.
showing you. All of this is public
Excuse
information.
me. Go ahead, guys.
All of this is public information. Nothing I say or do or teach about things is legal advice. It's all for entertainment and educational purposes only. You know what I'm saying? Um, so and like I say, everything I'm doing, all of this stuff right here is like the stuff like with the certificate of that's through the United Nations and through conventions that's already been established. You know what I'm saying? Like I was saying, how you create a state by expressing the particulars of in especially in words. That's simply how you create a state. You know what I mean? And then you publish that. And once you publish it for a certain amount of time without it being uncontested, it becomes law. It becomes your will. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And then you can exercise that throughout whatever jurisdiction you in. Like people don't understand they have the
Yeah,
actual ability to
peace,
create their own law,
God. Go ahead.
and that's through your will. Through your will, you're actually creating your own law, like literally. You know what I mean? And like I say, once you make your will international and bring it into an international forum, now, like I said, like because in your will you could say that the holy, let's say you're Islamic, um, you can come under Sharia, which is Islamic law, and have those protections of Islamic law, Islamic legal international law. Um, and
Peace. I mean, I add something to that.
yeah,
I don't think particularly it's good to come under
Sharia,
Sharia.
yeah, because
And
it's a lot of
unless you're in that
extremism.
particular, I'm just saying. I don't think that's good unless you come in unless you're in that particular country. I don't think that's good because a lot of things in Sharia is very bad and very outdated, and it doesn't apply to modern day times. You know, so if a person was to come under Sharia, which I know very well, um, a lot of it's outdated and it doesn't apply to these times. These apply to some times that's so far removed from reality, God,
Right,
that
right,
that would get people into very bad situations in real life. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Even if you
I know what
came
you're
under,
saying. I know what you're saying.
even if you, even if you came under so-called any type of law, you know, as far as Christian law, there's no such thing. Even Sharia, that shit applies in certain states, but this is, you know, it end up being in a position of oppression too. So like, that's not always good. You
The
know, that's not really always good.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
But
The
you know
thing
what I
is,
mean?
right. The thing is though now, as far as like when you're dealing with like the accession, the instrument of accession or the instrument of full powers, the instrument of accession is like when you're acceding or becoming party to a treaty. Now, when you create your amendments, because you're also going to attach a declaration to the instrument of accession, and in the declaration you're going to have your amendments where you can through via the choice of law you can actually pick and choose which provisions of the treaty that you want to adhere to and which ones you don't. You know what I'm saying? So, for example, if it says in Article 18 that if you're part of this treaty or this constitution, you have to enlist yourself to be enrolled for military service at a certain age. We're like, oh hell no, I ain't with that shit. I ain't signing up for that.
Fuck that shit.
You know what I'm saying? And you be like, nah,
We
I
ain't
ain't with
doing
that.
that.
So you wanna draw a line through that shit? Like, no, not with that part. I'm not adopting that. No. But this part, and that part, to protect my God-given rights, my unalienable rights, and pursuit of liberty, life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. So like, oh yeah, I'm with that. Yeah. You know what I mean? But all that part, no, I'm not with that. So you can actually pick and
Nah,
choose.
God, I understand. Excuse me. Pardon me. I had hit the button. You there? All right, my bad. I hit the button. But yeah, I'm just saying, like, I don't certain things, God, I don't feel that it is beneficial, and I know that because I had physical cousins who's hard on this thing, and did time off of having the wrong concept.
Yeah, because maybe what they were doing, I don't know exactly what they was doing, but if they weren't dealing with the Secretary General, which is the international depository, then they were probably dealing with the Secretary of State, which is a state depository. Now they're
Yeah,
trying
I
to
know, God,
now
I know what you want.
right. So
God,
so
I know
so
what you
they may have been
want.
trying to they
I definitely know what you want.
they may have been trying to implement international law, but on a state level, from a state status or a state standing. And then therefore maybe some things didn't come into fruition because you're not in the proper standing. That's why I say you have to bring yourself into an international standing first before you can implement international law. Now, one of the ways of doing that is via the International Certificate of Will. You could do it through your will and via the laws of succession, because the law of succession brings you back into the laws of nation, the laws of men, the laws of families. Um, and then, or either you could do it via a seating or through a session, like a seating or becoming party to a treaty. Once you become a party to a treaty, that now puts you on the same international level as a treaty you acceded to. You know what I mean? So that's how you bring yourself into an international forum. You know what I mean? Another way is creating what's called the international organization, which is non-governmental, because people think it got to be governmental. No, it's non-governmental. You know what I'm saying? Create an international organization. That's another way. So you want to bring it basically all in all. You want to bring yourself into the international forum. Check this out. I'm gonna look up international organization.
Yeah, all of that is going. You can look it up after. It's always
This is
going to be something there.
this is what Noble Drew was doing. You know what I'm saying? People don't understand the significance and the power of what Noble Drew did. People could say it
Yeah,
was little,
I know
little,
a lot of things that Drew Ali was talking about is definitely conjecture.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You
He
know what I'm
became
saying?
more myth than man. It's 2021.
Because he was bringing us into an international forum. Like for example, he gave us a nationality. He said Moorish American, descendants of Morocco, born in America. Now that gives us an internationality. That makes us international right there by pledging allegiance to two nations. That makes us international. See what I'm saying? And we didn't even physically leave the United States. So just by you declaring your nationality, you become international. And I'm pretty
Agreed.
sure you've declared your nationality, right? So you're international, bro. You just got to understand the law so you can enforce that. You know what I mean? You got power right now. Like, well, now part of stuff. Now, also, well, now within the state, you have power. But if you now bring that declaration onto into a so now, oh, and also too, on part of the will, they say they need you need to denote your nationality. Why you need to denote your nationality in the will? Because they want to know what nation you represent, and therefore they show and prove your international alliance. That's what makes the will international. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I mean. So you declare your nationality. So you could, and you don't have to put a 1,000-page document. You could what's called incorporation through reference. I like to use the term association by reference because incorporation deals with corporate, which is commercial, and we try to come out of that commercial realm. get the international protections, then we could come back into the commercial realm and be protected. And really, how we coming back into the commercial realm is through the I-9 form and starting up our own church, but not church like hallelujah, praise Jesus. Another name, and they tell you right there on the IRS website, another name for church is a mosque, temple, place of worship. I'm gonna use the term temple, like hence I got the universal. Right now we in the universal temple of the sun, planet, moon, and stars. This is my international organization, and right now I'm treating with an international with a national right now. You understand? Yeah, we ain't necessarily coming to an agreement. You know what I'm saying? Which will be the real treaty, but we trying to work it out. You know what I'm saying?
I know it's hard to deal with me, God. I already know.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so even like I don't know if you've seen the video where I was breaking down about the international organization, how I said my
Yeah,
international
I think that was a very good video.
yeah,
God, I watched like 8 of them. I told
yeah,
you once I said like, God, you know I haven't speak to you in a long time. However, when I told you the other day, I said I was gonna look into it. I did, God. That's why when you sent me that video, I said, yeah, God, I've seen it. Because one thing about me, you already know, I actually look into shit real thoroughly. You know what I'm saying?
and you know what I'm saying? You see in there how I broke down, I said the the philosophy of my international organization is rooted in the Islamic Trinity of the teachings of the seven circle Quran of Noble Drew Ali, the
God,
supreme the supreme wisdom of Elijah Muhammad, and
yeah,
and the supreme mathematics and supreme alphabet of the Father Allah. You
no,
know,
you did. You said Drew Ali was one,
the knowledge,
Elijah
right,
Muhammad was 2, and Allah
right,
was 3. I
right,
seen how you did it.
right, exactly, right.
At
So
the
I said
same time, God,
I broke it down
there's
through
no
philosophy.
Trinity in Islam whatsoever. You know what I'm
Say
saying?
again.
I said there's no Trinity in Islam whatsoever. You know,
That's if you're dealing with the Holy Quran. You know what I'm saying? And also, like I said, this is my international organization. So if I want to create my own God-centered culture, then I got
I
the
didn't
right
say
to do
anything about
so.
that.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, I know where you coming from as far as the Quran says. You know, shout out partnership with Allah, and Islam has no divisions and so forth. I know where you're coming
What
from. I got
what just the ideal of 3 and 1 is bad.
you. Okay, well, what about man, woman, and child? Sun, moon, and star. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding. That's the cipher. Three in one.
Only gods can science it up that way.
Yeah, that's right in
Only
his that.
God,
Those
gods,
mathematics, those
only the
mathematics right
gods
in his
can do
that.
that. I mean, you know, even Elijah, he did that in the first degree and one of 40.
Right in his that. Peace, God. Now you're talking. Now, right, go ahead, God. Peace. Now, that degree right there is powerful. That ties into a lot of what I'm talking about too, God. Exactly. Got build on that, God. Pardon me.
And just mention that the Holy Quran was made by the original people. He
Mm-hmm.
didn't say the original man. So, but these are different degree. These are the different ideas. When you're dealing with oneness, God, there's definitely no Trinity in it whatsoever. We can do it. We the best ones to do it anyway, because everybody had learned from Allah's 5% as far as how to synthesize all kinds of knowledge. This is why, like, you ain't gonna let me talk for too long, and I ain't gonna let you talk for too long because of that type of understanding. It's a different type of thing. But however, there's no Trinity, and it's called I don't even want to speak the Arabic, but just oneness. Period. You know, understanding of yourself. There's no trinities in there. There's no duplicities in there. You know what I mean? On a different page.
Well, I also understand that there is no mystery God in that I am, in that the culture is I God. You know what I'm saying? And I God must create my own universe and rule as I see fit. So, I mean, I'm not necessarily bound to the religious instructions of the Holy Quran. So, therefore, I understand. I understand where you're coming from. But me
You
myself,
don't.
I don't necessarily,
Well, you do to a degree. You do to a degree, but you don't. You see, because you're saying that's where I'm coming from. You do to a degree. I'm Allah. I was appointed as a sheikh by African spiritual masters who got lines and stuff like that. And you see me at the Eid, or you see me at um the masters and stuff like that. However, God, don't ever get it, Father. You see King equality divined up. I'm Allah. You see what I'm saying? In all worlds. So there's no difference. And the truth that I'm talking about is that everything comes to one, not the number. You know what I'm saying? On a different page. You know what I mean? I'm the same motherfucker, God. You know what I mean? I understand that if brothers don't go into certain traditions, because I don't go into traditions of nobody, not even my own. You know what I mean? I don't. I don't. The body is an expression. What we see each other with is an expression. You know what I'm saying? However, I ain't off none of that bullshit, God, whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? We know a deeper reality. The thing is, what I was saying about is this. It's not your zeal or any of those type of things that I'm talking about. I'm just saying is that certain things that you sent me, and forgive us for being recorded, is that it's just not for men, God, in this point of maturity in my life. And I understand it. You know what I mean? God, this is why I told you, I kept telling you, power quality, see equality, and keep building. And even now, when we get on the phone, God, don't think we get into no argument, God. I like to fuck around and stuff like that, God. You know what I mean? We've been together closer than most people been. And it don't matter what you go out there and learn, you know what I mean, and where I go out there and it may seem that I do. God ain't no difference, man. It ain't no difference. You know what I mean? And nothing. It's no difference. I just seen a lot of people, God, get bagged behind certain types of talks. You know what I mean? I seen a lot of
you know
people
what they
get
get,
bagged
you know what
through.
they get bagged on I'm gonna take the birth certificate, I'm gonna take it to the thing, I'm gonna take it to the search sheet, and I'm
Nah,
gonna get
I mean my physical cousin got bagged, God, and
that
he's
type shit.
supreme with it, God.
I ain't doing none of that.
He's supreme with it. My personal cousin got bagged. He's supreme with it, God. He brought me through a lot of worlds and a lot of sciences. And listen, God, you the knowledge seed. Messiah, I trust that what you see is truth is truth. It ain't no question about that. Even though I might argue about this shit right here, and I'm not even arguing, God. I'm really just pushing your buttons because I don't give a fuck one way or another. I'm a law. That's only reality. I don't give a fuck one way or another, God. I done been through a whole bunch of shit. This body done died and came back 3 times. Like all that shit, God. I done taken on all kinds of knowledge. You know what I'm saying? We know the science, God. And you know, we always, even when you came with the Malachi York book, God, you know what I'm saying? Even when you came and stayed, and then we went back and got into the accident and all of that, which wasn't an accident. God, the thing is this. God, you gonna bring a lot of people to education that they never seen before in their life. Never will see, and you're gonna rise them, God. That's your purpose. You see what I'm saying? We won, regardless of it. I don't have to agree with you, God. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to co-sign what you saying. That's irrelevant, God. And not only that, you don't have to feel bad about it either. Really, you don't have to give a fuck about if I'm down with you, because you don't need no motherfucking help. You know what I mean? You don't need no help. You just God just teach, keep building. I meant that when I said that shit to you, man. I meant that, God. I really meant it sincerely. When I was like, keep building. And I just kept saying peace. You see what I'm saying? You're not trying to convince me, but you are. You don't have to convince me, God. I'm freedom out of cipher, for real. Not like just like how the numbers say. For real, for real. You know what I mean? God, I just appreciate seeing you and your motherfucking light and what you doing. You know? I seen the signs, God. If it was beneficial for me personally as an individual, I would have took it. I would have been saying that to you. I'm not saying that to you. I ain't saying a motherfucking thing really lately these days, if you notice. I just start posting shit again. God, you don't need no motherfucking body to validate what you're saying. However, God, I'm just telling you everything should be proven. And I'm telling you that for a fact. Not as not like God, I'm telling you. I'm your brother. You know how much shit I've been through? Shit. I've been with all God, I was proving the signs on in the courts and shit, losing and winning and all that shit. But that's just not the way. You know what I mean? That shit ain't the way. It ain't about that shit. That's why I told you, like, man, peace, peace. You still calling. It hit me on, you know what I mean, the late night shit. I'm like, yo,
No,
God, something greater out of it. What I'm saying is you're gonna bring something greater out of it because you know what I mean, you the Messiah. You supposed to bring the light. And you're gonna bring something greater, you know what I mean? You're gonna bring something greater. It's not just the same thing that you heard. Whatever you heard God become better when you say it. It's gonna bring something greater when you say it. I ain't never lost no connection with you, Lord. Only reason why I'm telling you the way that I'm telling you guys is because of life that I live, that I lead. You know what I'm saying? We shit. I'm a law. I say nothing different. I'm a law. But ain't nobody gonna disagree with you. Ain't nobody gonna agree with you, God. If everybody agree with you, you're gonna be wrong. You know what I'm saying? You have to just continue to teach God. Because as the wisdom has on the knowledge, then the wisdom is wisdom with. Everything is in accord. There ain't no unlike. None of that, God. Everything got disappeared. Just really see the reality of Allah. That's what motherfuckers don't understand. You know what I mean? Niggas lost their language. I cut you off though. Go ahead, God. I'm gonna listen to you.
So it's all good. It's all good, dude.
Yeah,
Now,
what you say?
just kind of looking through this here, where he's talking about an international organization. But it says an international organization is uh, an organization established by a treaty or other instrument or other instrument governed by international law and possessing its own legal personality, such as the United Nations, the World Health Organization, NATO. When Malcolm X or El Haj Malik El Shabazz formed the United Muslim Mosque Incorporated, and then he was also going to the United Nations to speak
He was
upon.
about to.
He was going to the United Nations to speak
He
of
was about to. Yeah.
Okay, well, we was about to, to speak on the plight of, black people in America, and he also was dealing with nationality. As I said, we should be Afro American. So El Haj was even giving us knowledge of nationality. And like I said, being that he had formed his international organization, which was the United Muslim Mosque Incorporated, and it was a Muslim Mosque Incorporated, meaning it was an international organization. It had many different Muslims from different countries, incorporations, whatever, whatever. So they were all incorporated into that under that
Well,
banner.
well, everybody,
But
we can't say that every Muslim agreed with it. That's too many
no, I
people.
didn't. I didn't say every Muslim. I said he had different
Indeed,
Muslims from
at the
different.
same, yeah,
Uh,
he incorporated under that name, but he was actually dealing with things on the national level.
Right,
You
on an international level.
know?
That's what I'm trying to say. His what made his organization international is that he
He
had
traveled
different people from
international.
different nations within that organization. That's what made it an international organization.
However, God, he did travel international.
Yeah, well, I'm not speaking about him traveling, bro. I'm just talking about what made his organization international and the fact that he had an international organization. That's why he was able to, you know,
Right.
at least he was about to go to the United Nations and have a seat or have be an invited guest to speak before the
Right.
nations.
God,
I mean,
you in the alphabet, Lord, is you a universe.
right? Is that
It's a what? Uni what? Verse.
right?
Not nation. They don't say nation. They say universe. You are universe.
Right?
There ain't no separation in it. It ain't no like, see God,
What is with the
yeah,
universe is what? Everything,
huh?
right? I said the universe is what? Everything, right? Universe is
What I'm saying
everything,
is it ain't the pocket. It's everything.
right?
You know what I'm
So so
saying?
I so I myself am not just the individual as self, but the whole universe and everything in it as self. Because due to the law of relativity, the whole universe deals in equality.
Yeah, the laws of supreme mathematics say that.
Right? Knowledge born equality.
Yeah, as they say. I don't those things I have contested a long time.
I understand it. I
But at
understand
the same
that
time,
that's
God, true indeed though. You know what I mean?
I understand it.
But knowledge don't have no limitation. But what I'm saying is this, Lord. We not, we're not gonna get stuck on one thing at all. Because it's way above this shit. You know what I mean? It's way above this shit right here. Where we going in. This physical shit here. It's way above that. I'm not caught in nothing. Not even my own self, God. I ain't caught in nothing. Shit. I ain't caught nothing at all, God. I just want you to prosper, you know what I'm saying? Reap the benefits of your children and your family, man. That's it. I don't give a fuck about none of that other shit. You can talk nation, nation, nation. Your brother standing beside you ain't even your brother. God, I ain't for it. I gotta understand
But
it.
that's why people gotta understand that your nation is your family. You know what I'm saying? Like your literal family. You know what I'm saying? The family that you create, that you born on this planet. That's your nation. You know what I'm saying? Like the nation is the nation, but your nation is what you build, your civilization that you build. You know, your sun, moon, and star. You know what I'm saying? That's your nation. You know what I mean? So and doing so for that, like I say, I will create my own international organization, and it will be in line with its teachings. Like I say, my philosophy is in line with the philosophy of Noble Drew, the philosophy of Yahweh Muhammad, and the philosophy of the Father Allah.
I already told you, God.
That's my
I impart, God already told you, man.
that's my
God
philosophy.
already, God already told you I impart infinite blessings upon you, man. I already told you that shit, man. You already know that. I impart infinite blessings on you, man. And every word, every 6,666 verses in the Quran, and every word in Loh Mahfuz. Now, I mean, the books that's not spoken, God. We deal with supreme mathematics. If you did not born something, then you know what I'm saying, you ain't being yourself. You have to born something, of course, God, and you gotta keep building on it. You know what I'm saying? You have to keep building on it as well. Because God, listen, time keep on slipping into the future. As time change, we must change. You know what I'm saying? You know, you can't organize anything in this universe. Yeah, God. This shit organized and get disorganized. This is where the harmony come in at. Listen, God, look at every organization that happens. That's why Allah say I don't keep no names on. You know what I'm saying? So they can't track you with nothing. Anytime you try to organize something, God, shit going, you're gonna see disorganization.
Yeah.
This is gonna happen.
Well, you
It's
know,
gonna
I
be
say
real.
it's why I say, you know, when you're dealing with trust law, as far as with trust law, you know, I mean, it should be somebody that you can trust, and eventually it's going to have to be somebody that you're going to have to trust. But more so, that's why I like a living trust, because in a living trust, I'm the executor, the trustee, and the beneficiary all in one. So I can operate all my affairs all by myself. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have to trust somebody else. Basically, I'd be the one responsible for that. That's the science of, you know,
Oh, man got that bird on himself. Anyway, everybody got that burn on themselves. God sees we held responsible for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We held responsible for ourselves. Even if we do some bullshit to somebody and they don't hold you accountable, you're gonna have to. It's gonna come into account regardless. You see what I'm saying, Lord?
yeah, I'm trying to get to the point where, you know, like I say, after I come back, when I come back into the matrix dealing with the I-9 form, and therefore that'll be a tax exempt status, and therefore I don't have to file no taxes or nothing. Basically, meaning I work for myself, and I don't have to. And due to the fact that the
It's
uh
not
the
a lot.
temple,
It's not a bad thing, God. That's the thing. Like, see, taxes, God. It's not a bad thing, Lord. Like, look at
I
the
didn't say necessarily was, but I
man.
just
Listen,
say
God. We created all of this shit. We created the earth, everything, the world. But look at the world, God. Taxes, insurance, all these things. These not bad things, God. These are not bad things.
mm,
Look, God. Say I'm riding down the parkway in a car with my babies and the motherfucker hit me. You see what I'm saying? Kill my daughters, injure me. He ain't got no insurance. See what I'm saying, God?
yeah,
What are you gonna tell me? God, yeah, God. You know what I mean? What are you gonna tell me? We keeping this shit intact. It's currency. This shit flowing around, God. This shit flowing around. It's flooding all kinds of shit going on in the neighborhoods over here. My old earth, in our family, we own a house here, house in Virginia. This shit make the world go round, God. Ain't nobody paying this shit. None of these roads getting fixed.
Right, and people paying all these
None of
taxes.
these things happen, God. Like
That's where the tax money's supposed to go to.
For a
Roads to
reason.
get fixed. And why are they fixing the roads? People paying taxes, right?
I'm just telling you, like this is in place. These are certain things that's in place, God.
What we call misappropriation of funds. They're not doing the right thing with the tax money. People paying taxes, but they ain't getting any services for the taxes. So, you know, that's a joke. And see, the whole thing about the taxes is that now knowledge this. The science about taxes is that when you become your own private banker and you're controlling your own estate, the science is that all the money that you can have in your own private banks and your own private accounts, and you can gain interest on your own money all year round. What the government does is they make everybody file a tax return where
God do that. God do that first.
what basically you file the tax return, and then now they're controlling your estate. They're
God, I'm telling you, do what you said first, because
they got your money in the bank all year round, gaining interest off of it. And then at the end of the year, you file the taxes for your tax money back, and then they even tax you out of that. So you don't even get back your full amount technically. And then on top of that, the interest you should have gotten out of it while it was just sitting in their banks, it wasn't your bank, so you didn't get the interest. They got the interest off your money, and they do this to the whole so-called nation every year. You know how much interest they gaining off of people's money?
God, so when you ain't gonna
The
check
rob
this out. You
system,
work off the books, right? And you ain't
10%
gonna collect,
blood
and
sucking
you
the
ain't
poor.
collecting nothing. Hold on, God, you work off the books, you ain't collecting nothing at all. So you ain't
No,
getting nothing at all.
what you mean?
And you work off the books. I worked off the books. You work off the books. You ain't collecting nothing at all
What do you mean collecting nothing?
at the end of the year. Because you get
No,
back what
because you're not filing taxes, right? Yeah. So the thing is that you have to create your own tax
Now I
filing
don't have to
system
do
for
shit,
yourself.
God, because I seen the benefits of my energy. I don't gotta do shit. I'm just saying.
This what I'm talking about as far as on the private side. This is
I
and
definitely
this is one of the things that is the difference between the private side of things and the public side of things. It's either like
right.
you either want to give up the public benefit and be a real adult and show them that you're not a minority and you're of age
Okay.
majority and you can operate your own affairs, which is basically showing legal
So
competence.
you're not collecting. So Messiah, so you ain't collect no type of so basically you ain't collecting nothing.
Bro, I didn't say that. What I'm saying is
I'm
that I'm trying to get to the point where I don't have to
asking
necessarily
you because
work
that's
through the system.
well,
President,
you're
no,
not
I
doing
heard
it
you.
because God, listen, you gotta you ain't collecting nothing. This is a reciprocal thing, God. They're like, this is common sense shit. This is a reciprocal thing. You want to be private and all that. That's cool. So you want to not collect anything, nor contribute to
I
the
didn't
building.
say that, bro. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. Yeah, I mean, there's so many layers to this stuff, man. Listen, once I get into the status of what I'm talking about, I could still receive the benefits of that straw man, but I will have it in a certain position as to where I can do that and not
God,
be held and not be legally held liable for the
fuck,
for the for the straw man.
God, fuck all that dumb shit.
It's called reversion of estate, but that's a
God,
whole other level. You know what I'm saying? A whole other, and I ain't even kind of go into all of that right now. But
civilized. You know what I mean? We building on civilization. We not like
yeah, listen. What I'm trying to say is, God, I'm not just gonna pass on my knowledge and my wisdom to my babies. I'm gonna have some kind of wealth and something held in security of trust and will to pass on to my children. You know what I'm saying? more than, also my knowledge and wisdom. Yes, I'm gonna pass on my culture, my civilization. They're gonna see that every day as they live it. They're gonna
God,
see
what you doing? That's what I'm saying right now.
that's
If
granted.
you,
But
God,
I'm
right now.
also gonna
Okay, listen,
establish
listen,
my
listen, God,
will
right
in
now.
stone.
Okay, God. So right now, if you producing something, God, then it has to. There's something tangible out of that. That's the whole science. See what I'm saying? You
God, y'all
produce
looking for
something,
y'all
something
looking for
tangible.
money, man. Y'all mind is on
So,
money, man. Y'all
huh?
money, y'all. It seems like y'all. I don't know. Y'all. What y'all think about money? When I talk about assets, I'm not just talking about money. I'm talking about
Said
whatever
not
you call.
culture, not knowledge and wisdom, not knowledge and wisdom.
Yeah, but some gold too. You know what I'm saying? Like some wealth, some things,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Some
So that don't come
tangible
out of thin
things.
air. That come out of
Right?
your effort.
Huh?
That don't come out of thin air. That come out of your effort.
Yeah, exactly. These are things that you got to work for. And what I'm trying to say is that I don't
Right.
want everything that I work for to be just go in vain, as if like, okay, I was just another person that lived and died, and okay, now on the next now to the next person. No, I'm gonna set it up to where everything is structured to where there's a line of succession, like I was speaking about. Like for example, I'm gonna give you another example, right? I should have built this a long time ago, but give you another example, right? You be like, man, now it's like the father that teach that. Man, the father did this. What I'm talking about.
I want
Just
who the
just
fuck
just like the father-in-law went out, right? He taught the first nine born, and then he
hey,
gave
yo,
them,
somebody,
huh?
please. God, who used to do that? Somebody had to sound like that in your family because you always make that same voice.
What that now type of God? Nah, that's
Nah, I don't know. I
you know,
can't
you
even.
know, you know, you know, you know the old, you know the older gods be on that shit. Now type of God.
You always, nah, you always getting that same fucking type of tone.
Yeah,
Somebody got to
man,
do that in your
that's a
family.
because that's a universal no, that's a universal tone in the nation, man, of the older gods. Now type of God.
Somebody sound like that. I'm gonna
You know
get
how
to the
many
bottom.
times I heard.
Nah, somebody sound like that. I'm gonna get to the bottom of that shit.
Who specifically?
Somebody
Well,
in your family, one of
oh,
your,
yeah, but I would say in the nation and the universal family, I could give you a couple gods that sound like that. I ain't gonna say their name right now, but
one of your aunts, one of your aunts talk like that.
nah, bro. They
Yeah,
don't be saying that, man.
that's
But nah,
just
but
you
but
always do that same fucking tone.
but check it though, right? So as a father, he taught the first nine born, right? Then he gave them instructions. He gave them
Nah, listen,
uh
don't listen, Lord. Did he? There was many people in between there. There's many people in between there. Who we call the first nine born. Mad people in between there.
okay, bro. I wasn't talking about that, G. I'm trying to make a point,
I'm,
God. Can I build?
okay. Listen, God, I'm just saying.
All right,
So
bro.
when
I
you say that
feeling
he was
that.
about the first nine born, it wasn't like it just came from nine people. Boom,
I
boom,
didn't,
boom,
I
boom,
didn't,
boom.
I didn't say that. I was going on to say that, yeah, I hear you, bro. These particular nine born are known as the first nine born because they were specific people that had specific positions. So now they're known in the history as the nine firstborn, first nine. You know what I mean? So
No.
the first nine born, he instructed them to teach 10 students of their own, and they did so. So it was like, you could look at that as a divine ordinance. It came from Allah. He gave them instructions. You know what I'm saying?
I
Just like,
already seen how you ran down the 99 attributes.
right,
Like,
right, exactly, right. So you already
like
know. So boom, he
yeah,
gave
that,
them
yeah,
99 attributes.
yeah, I understand that, God. That's just that's mathematically correct. You know what I'm saying?
Right as that.
Yeah, but
So he manifests his heaven on earth. You know what I'm saying? He showed and proved that
yeah.
already.
However,
Now we as the sons of Allah, you know what I'm saying? We carrying that on. You know what I'm saying? Through the culture. You know what I mean? So like people got to understand. I'm giving people the information behind everything that we're living out. Like we're doing all this stuff I'm talking about. But had we had knowledge about it, we'd be able to not only capitalize on it like a lot of people just want to do. Everybody want to capitalize on something, but not only capitalize on it, but industrialize, create a legacy. I mean, put our legacy in stone. Yes, people gonna know about the nation of God's earth. We did a lot of work to put our legacy in stone and writing and word of mouth and everything. It's gonna be
God,
kind of,
don't speak about the nation like that.
huh?
I said, don't speak about the nation like that.
Speaking about the nation like what? No, I'm speaking facts, G. I'm speaking something
Nah,
that
nah, I'm
been
just saying,
speaking
like,
for the longest
we
time.
can, actually, God, we can't, one person can't speak for the nation in that way, as far as the
In
nation
what
of God, or the
in,
5% nation.
in what way, God? I'm not disrespecting it. You act like I'm saying something wrong or something. Tell me, well,
This
stop
is
me if
this
I
is
say
the
something
thing,
wrong,
God.
God. Listen,
This is
stop me if I say something wrong. And if you like, I'm speaking fast in a way of like, because like, man, I'd have been there and done this, man. How many times I got to repeat this and da 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 da. What I'm
been
saying is
there and done
though,
what?
what I'm saying is though, if we want to establish our born universal truth, what I'm saying, if we want to establish ourselves like other, and I'm not saying be a copycat, but I'm just saying do what is able for everybody to do, just as other people have done. If we want to establish ourselves truly as a nation, like for example, we have a term, right? We say we're a nation within a nation. Now, cipher God, I don't bear witness to that. I don't
Well,
see myself being,
shit. We don't bear witness to now, Cypher.
I don't see myself as being a nation within a nation, and we should not be a nation within a nation. We
Listen,
are to
we are
be
in that cipher right now, God.
we are to
Because
be
for
a
one thing,
nation among nations. You know what I'm saying? Because as men, you stand next to another man, not under another man. So as nations, you stand among nations, not under another nation. So I don't bear witness to that. We're a nation within a nation. We need to step our game up so we become a nation among nations.
God,
And
what
that's
I'm
what
saying is
it's
that it's better to speak for yourself.
well, I'll say that before the whole nation, whether they like it or not, accept it or not. That's a fact. We got to step our game up, man. We
Well,
really
we are.
do. Because
Well,
this,
yeah, I'm not saying universally. Yeah, everyone have to step
yes,
they
yes,
got a lot of master equality up. I'm gonna say, yeah, of course.
yes. Because we
However,
think we
as
think
far as
all we got to do is
particularly,
polish 120, quote lessons, say peace God, go through the motions, and that's it. Oh, I'm a 5%er. Nah, man. When it comes to nation building, see this type of stuff I'm building on? Ain't nobody want to talk about this, but you want to talk about Yakub grafted the devil and Musa came
I'm gonna just
later.
have to beg your
And
pardon off of this.
come on, man. Yo,
For
God,
one,
yo, no. The reason why I say that, God, because yo, God, I
well,
got nothing
for
to
one
self
thing, I have to beg your pardon off of this. For one thing, God,
understanding
this
born now.
science is nothing new.
You
Hold
think the
on, this science is nothing new, God. In the '80s, hold on, I beg your pardon, God. In the '80s, Nakeem Bey, you know what I'm saying? He got the knowledge passed down from a lot of the old more a lot of guys was dealing with a whole bunch of different sciences. Matter of fact, universal sciences, bad different brothers in the
I
5%
know,
nation.
I
So what
know.
I'm saying is, as far as to speak on that, in regards to the nation in particular, that's improper. You could not do that because there's so many gods. This is, you know what I mean? God know about everything.
I'm gonna wait till
Allah
you
know
finish.
about everything.
I'm gonna
Like,
wait till you finish, right?
huh?
Nah, I'm gonna wait till you finish. I'm gonna add on to that right there.
Oh yeah, cause the gods always been on alert about everything. You see what I'm saying? A
Right.
lot of these sciences, the purest and the highest form that they came to in understanding the manifestation is with the nation. Period. You see what I'm saying? And the nation is not like a thing that you could just like. We can't put that in the. And you can't put that in the pocket like that and say the gods ain't never do this. The gods did everything. There's nothing new. There's nothing new whatsoever, regardless of what it is. It's
Mm-hmm.
nothing new. God's know the in and out of everything. Allah is everything. Like know the ins and out of everything, God. So as far as speaking on a 5% nation like that, I would say that that's improper because there's all kinds of gods, and we know the science of everything.
Right, bro. Right. Right.
Then we know the science of everything. This is
Right.
how the whole highest understanding came through, God.
Right.
That's why we ain't formed an organization.
Right.
Ain't no
Now,
organization. God's is all kind. God's everywhere in all kinds of sciences.
right. Now let me put in perspective what I was
Yeah,
saying.
because that right
Because
there, like, yeah,
because
we can
because
never
because
speak on the
I don't know
population.
where you what you know what I'm saying, but now check this. There's been brothers that came with constitutions and brought it before the nation, never was implemented. There was guys that came with Um,
And those guys did it though. Don't forget that part. And those guys did it.
say again.
The brothers came with the Constitution. The guys was like, they ain't having that shit. The brothers went and did it.
Okay, right,
So
right,
don't
right.
forget
Yeah.
that part. Because they
And
did it.
guess
Those
what?
guys manifested that.
And guess what?
The
And when they did it, guess what? Brothers were still hating on them after they did what they told them to go do.
God,
Oh,
they
they do their
did it.
own thing. They did their own thing, and niggas are still hating. So what?
However, they did it
So
though.
the
That's
thing is,
what
I
they
hear
did
it,
it
though.
though.
But what I'm trying to say is though, regardless if they went and did their thing and brothers was hating, or if they didn't do their thing and brothers was hating, brothers are still hating, and this is why ideas don't get pushed through the nation because somebody's always hating. That's all it is, man.
God, shit.
Niggas, listen,
God, you
listen.
act like you wasn't born in the household.
Hold on, let me finish,
That
bro.
shit happening. That shit happening in your own household.
Let me
Yeah, of
finish,
course
bro.
that's gonna happen, but that's
Let me
irrelevant.
let me finish.
God,
Let me finish what
builders
I was
always
saying.
built. Hold on, builders always built, Lord.
Right, right, right. But what I'm trying to say is though now, when they go off and they do their own thing, then not only do they got to do their own thing, but you can't do it in the name of the nation. So it's like, come on, man. Like, you know what I mean? Then what? Then it's like when I went down south and I went to with Born Mastermind when we went to do that thing down there, niggas was like, yo, you had the universal flag on in that video. Oh, people might misconstrue that's part of. Man, get out of here with that corny shit, man. You wear your flag when you go on your fucking job, nigga. You work for the white man. You wear your flag when you go wherever. You probably be in some rap video with your flag on, with your homies on the block and shit, nigga. Them niggas sell crack and pimp women and shit, nigga. Are you misrepresenting the nation? You hang out with the niggas on your block. Are you with your flag on? Are you misrepresenting the nation? Come on, man. So stop with that
Yeah,
dumb shit, man. This
a
brother
lot of
wants to
people
do a
don't.
positive
That's the
venture.
thing. A
Oh,
lot of
you got
people
your
don't.
flag on.
A
But you
lot of
see
people
what I'm
don't
saying?
have the mind of Allah. That's the thing,
It's
anyway.
just the hate, though, man. The ignorance and the hate. This is why ideas never get
That's a
brought
good
into
thing.
fruition. No, it's
Why?
not a good thing,
God,
man.
an
Because we
ideal is
got a
no
nation
good
of
as long as
haters.
it's still in
We
your
supposed to
head.
be, we supposed to be
It's
rising above all of that weakness,
God.
hating each other, being jealous,
God, just because you,
backbiting,
yeah,
crab in
God,
the
just because
barrel.
you do don't mean another man will. That's the
Huh?
whole sign to like attract, like repel. Just because you do don't mean another man will.
Bro, I've seen many brothers get hated on for
Well,
having for thinking of
God,
something that other
however,
people
what that got
didn't.
to do with truth, though? What that
Huh?
got to do with truth? What that got to do with truth? Who gives a fuck about what somebody hating on? That's
The fact of the
motivation.
matter, because the fact of the matter, what discusses me is that and I'm not just gonna say the name, in any group of people that claim to be so wise and intelligent, and we claim to be
A
civilized.
group,
Hold on, let me
fuck
finish.
a group.
And we claim to have, rising above these 85%
Yeah, fuck
activities
a group.
and mannerisms and all of that. But then we still be doing the same 85% type stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
So,
come on, man.
so you're
Just
including,
because
so
of
you,
us. And
so God, so you're including yourself in that same equation,
yeah, I include myself in that same situation. And this is
right?
what I come. And this is what I come to understand.
However, God, that's what the fuck is going to happen anyway. God, come on, man. That's what the fuck motherfuckers do. Like, ain't nobody exempt. Ain't nobody exempt from doing
I
some
don't,
bullshit. However,
I don't be hating
what
on
I'm
my
saying is
brother.
this,
I don't
Lord.
be hating on my brother. I do not hate
God,
on
what I'm
him.
saying is
It's
this,
just
God.
not in my
Listen,
heart.
God, you can
I,
choose.
I
Listen, God,
love
you
my
can choose to
brothers.
hate
I
on
show
your
love
brother
with them.
or not. At the same time, what a motherfucker do? What that got to do with you? You
It
can't let
don't.
nobody stop your
Because,
moment.
bro. If we're in a collective, listen,
That
God. If we in a
shit
collective
to do with
body,
you.
listen, bro. If you in a collective body, right? Then like just think about your own body. If the heart is affected, that's going to affect other parts of the body as well. If your brain is affected, it's going to affect other parts of the body. So let's just say us coming together as Voltron forming. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
If
look, you
like,
gotta think in your skin, God. You gotta think in your skin. You gotta think in your skin because it's irrelevant. What you doing is most important.
I'm not
You know what I'm
talking
saying?
about what I'm doing, bro.
You the one who wisdom and wise.
Bro, I'm
Huh?
talking about right now. I'm not talking about just what I'm doing. I'm talking about right now as far as people having ideas, bringing them forth to the body, and how they get rejected just because. Listen what I'm
Of
saying.
course. Ain't
Not
nobody gotta listen, God.
listen
Who
what I'm
have
saying.
to accept the idea?
Listen to what I'm saying, God. Listen to what I'm saying. This is what takes place. The actual, like, let's say if they took a vote, let's say if we had some kind of voting system.
We don't need a metaphor,
Oh, can
God.
I
Who
finish
gotta
my
accept
thought, man?
the
Can I
idea
finish
from
my
another
thought,
person?
G? Can I finish my thought, man? Can you stop interjecting in my
Peace.
every little word I say, man? Let me speak, man. Come on, man. If 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 something gets brought forth, right, the majority of the people might actually agree. But since it doesn't get past the little hater squad crew that comes through with the now cipher, now cipher, now cipher shit, being that it don't get past that and it don't get a chance to make it over to the masses of the people to be like, oh yo, yeah, yeah, we agree. It gets hated on by the hater squad, and then the masses don't get to enjoy what could have been because these particular group of people, you know, want to be like now cipher, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? So that right there, I think is totally unfair. That's not equality.
That's justice.
And I think maybe when it comes to
That's
ideas,
not
we
justice.
should. And I think when it comes to ideas being presented before the nation, maybe we should have some kind of voting system so at least everybody gets a fair say. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because leaving it up to the now Cypher Squad to agree or disagree, that shit ain't fair at all, man. And we had plenty of great ideas that came before this
Okay.
nation, and brothers want to still
Masai, I wish you would.
lessons.
Masai, I wish you would take me off record so I can talk to you how I want you. How I want to. I wish you would take me off recording so I could talk to you how I want you, God.
All right, God,
Yeah,
it's been
Lord.
going mad
That's
long
irrelevant
anyway,
for
so
what they say.
yeah, yeah, I'm gonna take this off anyway. It's been going mad long anyway. All right, the God, so peace to the God. I'm gonna hit you back on the book. I mean, this, like I said, this is a private site, but however, if you want to be on the book, then yeah, okay, I'll hit you back on the book. Peace.
For for one thing, God. Peace.
Yeah, yeah. You want me to? I'm about to end this right here, and I'm gonna come back. All right.